This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing. It's Monday night. It's Monday night after the so-called big game in America. We are here. We are here. We are live at Imola for Club UK&I Ireland Monday night Skippys. And welcome to Imola and welcome to round number 8 of the championship. Winston standing in for Rachel White for tonight, along with Linus Brostrom. And, well, Linus, Imola we saw on Sunday Night Skippys yesterday. It's a track which is fast. It's a track that promotes a lot of drafting and also a run to the start-finish line.
Yeah, it really does. It's really fast, got a lot of fast corners and quite a few overtaking opportunities. And out of that last corner, you really need to nail it or you could lose 1 or 2 positions by the end of the lap. So it's one mistake is going to cost you a lot here today.
Yep, so let's have a look at the times as they are on the screen, almost at the end of qualifying. Tom Ward leads away, 202.736. Bill Fraser in second. Kane Halliburton in third. Simon Edwards in fourth place. Claire Hughes running at your top 5. You did note a minute ago, actually, that we are, how do I say it nicely, going to have Fahim charging for the field here tonight because he was late joining the party.
He was, and he's not set a time, and he's got about 20 seconds to do it, and I don't think he's even on track, so he's going to be starting in 45th or 46th position here today. So that's going to be one to watch throughout the day, because he is not going to hold back.
Yeah, that's going to be a very hard run for him. We've got over 45 drivers in this race. Yesterday, on Sunday Night Skippys, there's only 34, and Fahim Martinez actually had a drive-through penalty there, which dropped him through the field. But qualifying is pretty much over. We've got people on track. Martinez is not on track, so he will be starting outside of your top 40 here today. But what about Bill Fraser. He is on track. He is about 6 tenths of a second behind the driver of Tom Ward right now. Fraser looking to have a good race here today.
He really is, and he will need to if he's going to stay in the championship hunt. Which he's actually missed quite a few races, but with the drop weeks coming, he could very well charge back up to the top. So he's definitely going to be looking for a good result here today if he's going to have a chance come race number 12 to win this championship.
Yeah, we've got a couple of moments left then of qualifying before we will head ourselves down to our starting grid. Of course, Club UK&I Monday Night Skippys is in support of the Calm Zone, a male mental health charity dedicated to preventing male suicide, which is the biggest killer of men under the age of 35 years old. So, with that to 2, of course, no final chicane here at Imola anymore. You go straight onto this long, sweeping front straightaway. What that means, Linus, is that you've really got to get a good run out of a rat to 2, especially in the last lap.
Yeah, you do. If you don't, you can get past, like I said earlier, by 1 or maybe 2 cars, and that is not something you want as Bill Fraser actually just put it on top of the scoreboard. So that last corner is going to be very, very important come the end of this race.
Yeah, he gets pole position by 19 one-thousandths of a second over Tom Ward. Ward is not on track, will not be able to respond. Let's run yourself through your starting grid then for Monday Night Skippys here at Imola. And it will be Bill Fraser starting on pole position. Qualifying time 202.716. Tom Ward 19 one-thousandths of a second further back. In second place, Kane Halliburton in third, and Simon Edwards rounds out your top 4. Claire Hughes in P number 5, Ben Daniels in P6, Anthony Jones in 7th, Anthony Catt in 8th. 9th place with Dower Taylor and Ewan Patterson rounds out your top 10. A big field here today, as ever, Linus, and that means we're going to see some draft racing.
Oh, it's going to be huge draft here today, and by the looks of it, it's going to be 47 cars taking the grid. That's going to be massive, and it's going to be... I'm going to be very surprised if we get through the first half of the first lap without an incident here, because it's fast. It's sweeping back, forwards, left, right, and very easy could be a contact. And one contact early on could take out like half the field. So for him, he's going to have to be careful, while he's also going to have to push really hard.
Which one do you do more? Do you push early or do you go for it defensive early? That is always the question drivers have to answer themselves. But we are on the grid. We are almost ready to get ourselves going. Final thoughts then, Linus, before we go into this 12-lap event.
Well, it's... I don't know really what to expect here. But keep your car in one piece and you will get a good result here today, I believe.
Drivers are lining themselves up on the starting grid. There is a look up above at our aerial coverage, brought to you by And1 Design, the official graphics partner of RaceSpotTV. And let's look at this track close to Milan, as we're just waiting now for the last set of drivers, of course. So 2 minutes. Drivers have to get themselves onto the starting grid before those lights will go on and go out, and we get ourselves ready to go racing here. Running out your week as ever on Club UK&I Monday Night Skippys. Brought to you on RaceSpotTV. We've got a packed week to come next week as well, including the 12 hours of Bathurst, and continuing even our coverage of the Pro Series of Road Racing for the Porsche. But here we are. A look at the start, finish line, a look at your drivers out front. Bill Fraser, of course, inside of that front row. Any moment now, we'll get ourselves ready to go racing. Just waiting for the last couple of drivers to get themselves on to the starting grid. That'll happen any moment now. Those lights will go red. We got ourselves ready to go racing. Those lights will go green. And we are racing here at Imola. All going to try and storm themselves down to Tamburello for the first time in this race. But of course, what you got to do is get yourself slowed down pretty quickly, because it can get very congested very early if you do not keep it nice and steady. We've got one driver just pushing off wide down at Tamburello, but everyone's made it through there. Now it's a case of running it down to Villeneuve. There's a little peak out there. P number 2 chasing over Bill Fraser. 3 wide down in your pack. But I'll tell you one thing actually here, Linus. Your first half the field have made it all the way up to Tosa without any incident.
They have, and it looks like the whole field actually will, and that is quite surprising seeing the size of this field, but they usually start clean, so maybe they can make it all the way around the first lap. Got a couple of small incidents, well, small offs, but no one hitting any walls or anything, so everybody's still going. 46 cars in total took the grid, so it's going to be interesting to see how many can stay alive throughout the whole race.
Yeah, we're on board with Tom Ward. He's running in second place. We saw him having a little peak at the start of this motor race over Bill Fraser, but nothing able to happen between him and other drivers. A little bit further back, you can see it's one very long snake of drivers that's going on right now, all the way down through your packs. They head themselves down into that third chicane. A lot of off tracks will happen down here as people push wide, and now it's that run down to Ravazza for the first time in this motor race, and the field look as though they're all steady for the moment. We've got a car going slowly. That's Bill Fraser. Fraser got a slowdown penalty there on lap number 1, and he makes contact out of Ravazza 1. The number 22 machine of Ewan Patterson to boot.
That was a massive mistake for him, and wow. He's actually going to go in the pits here as well, so that's the day over for our pole sitter Bill Fraser very, very early on.
Yeah, that's not something we expect to see. First place, all the way down to the rear of your field, and now Kane Halliburton pushing for the race lead. He will get that race lead as we start lap number 2 of 12 here. Live timing and scoring is available. Visit RaceSpotTV/timing. But Halliburton had a fantastic run on Sunday night Skippys yesterday, and he's having a good run again here on Monday night Skippys, ahead now of Tom Ward up to race lead.
He does, and well, looking at our racer of the race, or whatever you want to call him, Fahim Antonides, he gained 10 positions on the first lap. So he is definitely not holding back, and he's actually trying to get another position here, passing a car. Chris J. Morris, who's not even got a rear wing on his car. Yeah,
we've got a big incident, or I say a moderate incident that we just saw. Let's see if we can get ourselves a replay from our aerial coverage brought to you by And1 Design. This is into the Villeneuve chicane. You can see the pink car, top part of your screen there. And you have a car spun around, everyone going wide down at the Villeneuve chicane. 2-car incident. Everyone else is somehow able to get around that one. That was good to know, but I think it was Clark Williams, one of the drivers involved in that, because that car is still going very slowly. In fact, yeah, looks like Clark Williams might be bringing that number 98 car on towards pit road before too long. That is right at the rear of your field now. Clark Williams is at a mare at the start of this race.
Yeah, it's not been a good start for him either, just like for Bill Fraser. They, well, 2 people starting near the front and now they're way in the back, so.
As we go back and have a look at Fahim Antonides, actually, we're on board with him as he gets clobbered down at the third chicane. Fahim Antonides, he'd worked himself up into your top 30, but then just run over a car down at that third chicane. Damage now to number 35 of Fahim.
That's very unfortunate. I believe that was contact between the 34 in front of him and the 25 going into that corner. No, the 12. So he's in a bad position, wrong position at the wrong time, unfortunately for him. And that is, hopefully he's not got too much damage so he can carry on. We'll have to see when he comes by pit road.
On board right now with Simon Edwards. This is lap number 3 of 12 through Tamburello, through the left-hand kink that used to be Tamburello curve. If you look at this track, by the way, you'll notice that you can see the Brazilian flag, the point of impact that Ayrton Senna had when he lost his life down in 1994 at Tamburello Corner. It was Anthony Jones, by the way, that pink car, the number 11 car we saw going off down at Villeneuve a lap ago, that was involved in that 2-car incident. Very lucky not to have had more. But what we have got here is a little bit of a pack starting to form. We've got ourselves, I'm just having a look here, 5 or 6 drivers in this top pack right now. They are pulling away quite dramatically right now, Linus, over the rest of your field. As we'll just move that and we'll put that back up. It's worth noting that actually we've got ourselves a bit of a breakaway going on right now.
Yeah, these 7 cars has got a 5-second gap down to 8th place, and that is partially due to all the incidents and the one that Bill Fraser had, but also these 7 guys working a bit together here is going to make them pull away even more. And Daniel J. Cook is a bit lonely back there in 8th place, so he might be able to catch back up a little bit, but I don't think he'll gain 5 seconds back on these guys up here unless something happens.
No, as we're going to go on board in a second, actually, with that driver of Anthony Catt in the number 14 machine. 6th place on track right there in that snake of cars. Behind, we've got battles going on. Peter Cohen and Dave Kirkman, they go side by side as they head themselves down towards Ravazza number 1. You can see the back end sliding out quite heavily on that number 99 machine of Peter Cohen right now, but he's able to keep that position ahead of Dave Kirkman. That's going for P14 and P15.
It does, and we got a free wide for the lead here. It's Ward, Halliburton and Edwards is going to pull ahead now from 3rd up into the lead, coming into the first corner. That was interesting. Oh, and he's getting hit from behind. Halliburton drives over Simon Edwards, and they're both spun out and potentially out of the race.
Yep, let's get ourselves a replay. Here's the replay then coming up on board the free wide situation with Kane Halliburton. Let's watch it on board of him.
Tries to make like an undercut on Edwards, and Edwards just keeps it tighter than he expected and just runs him over.
Hey Siri, stop. Not quite sure what happened there. Siri started playing. But Kane Halliburton, P number 7 right now as a consequence of that one. He's fallen back down in your pack, and of course his teammate had issues on Sunday night Skippys yesterday on the last lap of the motor race. But out from all of this has meant that Tom Ward's now got a 1.7 second advantage over Claire Hughes, and Claire Hughes now up into 2nd.
Yeah, that was a huge break for Tom Ward, and if these 4 cars back here from 2nd to 5th start battling, Tom Ward is just going to have a Sunday drive to the finish line here. So these guys, Leigh Hughes, Ben Daniels, Anthony Catt and Ewan Patterson, they just need to start working together, pass each other on the straight and just give each other space in the corners to catch back up. Otherwise, they've not got anything to say about the win in this one.
Well, yeah, Patterson, former race winner, of course, in Monday night Skippys, now in that number 22 machine. Anthony Catt, Ben Daniels, Claire Hughes, they are the drivers in inverse order from 5th up into 2nd place. There is Claire Hughes right now, 1.6 seconds, the gap between himself and Tom Ward. Tom Ward is absolutely going to love this side. He loves running in clean air. He loves pulling out the advantage. You can see the number 09 car at the very front of your screen. Then we cycle through to Claire Hughes, Ben Daniels. Ben Daniels has actually dropped back to 6/10 of a second behind Claire Hughes right now as they're thinking about going 3 wide behind as they come down in towards turn number 1. They're not quite going to do so, but they're going to get close enough to do it. That's Anthony Catt, Ben Daniels, and Ewan Patterson going at it again.
It is, but wisely enough, they stay single file going into the turn. They really need to do that if they want to catch up. But Ward has pulled away a little bit more on that at the end of that lap, so it doesn't really look like they're going to have any chance of catching up to Tom.
Yeah, behind we've got Matt Cox burning it out right now with S.J. Dunning and Kane Halliburton. Halliburton, of course, the driver who's involved in that incident about a lap and a half ago now, which meant that he's falling down the field. As we're seeing Kane Halliburton pushing very wide down at the Villeneuve chicane, and he now is going to be under pressure into Tosa corner, lap number 5 of 12 here. And the race car of engineering sim racing car, Kane Halliburton, having to really pile on the defense here as Cox and Dunning are behind. And this is going to be a nice, interesting second battle going on for the last honours inside your top 10.
It is, and with the small damage I guess Halliburton has, this is really going to make it even harder for him, but it looks like he's doing a very good job at the moment now, sitting ahead of these guys in 10th position. So if he can just play defense nicely here, actually in 9th position even, he can probably come out of this with a top 10 position.
Yeah, we'll go on board now with S.J. Dunning in the number 587 car in towards that third chicane, over the curb, to the right, to the left once again, as now it's downhill in towards the Rats. A very late braking zone actually in towards Ravata as well. Update on retirees. You've had Luis Morga out of the event, Anthony Jones out, and Bill Fraser from first place all the way down into 46th place and out of this motor race. Neil Stevenson has been on pit road, as has Daniel Tufts, Paul Ridley and Sarah Savage. She has been on pit road as we've got a spinner on track, and that is the driver of Martin Brandon, 236 car, doing a little bit of rallycross off-road racing down at that third chicane. Catches that curve a little bit too much, a bit like the final corner at Canada. You catch that final curve too much, it will just spear you to the opposite side of the racetrack.
Yeah, you really got to be careful going over those curbs too hard, because it'll just turn you around. He's lucky not to go in the wall there, though, because that could have been even more costly. Now it only cost him a couple of positions, but at the same time it cost him a lot of time to the cars around him, so not a very good situation for him.
Yeah, we're looking on board of Claire Hughes is behind, actually. Matt Cox and Kane Halliburton, they continue to go at it. Two wide leaners here as they work themselves now through the left-hand as they head themselves in the exit of Tosa. But Cox and Halliburton, of course, Halliburton in this position now because of the incident earlier on. There's going to be a little bit of damage to that race car, not too much, but actually Cox now under pressure from S.J. Dunning. He's going to look down the inside.
He is, but he's going to get that position as well, so smart move from Cox to just back out. Now he's going to try and get the position back, though he's not going to have enough speed to do it, so he's going to have to stay behind for now.
Yeah, that's for now. They go single file through Outcome Raleigh, then up the gears, up the hill as they head towards that third chicane on track. To give you an update, as it stands then, your top 8 at the halfway point on this motor race, it is Tom Ward who is leading by 2.36 seconds. When a car turn around, that is Chris Malcolm in the Positive Sim Racing University of Isabella 1 car down in the number 16 position. Tom Ward leads away, Ben Daniels second, Claire Hughes in third place. Fourth place, that is going to be Anthony Catlin, Ewan Patterson in fifth, Simon Edwards in sixth, Daniel Cook in seventh, and Tom Barry rounds out your top 8. But let's get ourselves another look, shall we, at that University of Isabella 1 car of Chris Malcolm, the Positive Sim Racing machine. This was down into that third chicane, and again over the curbs, back end of the car steps out as he tries to accelerate off the corner. Chris Malcolm falling down to outside of your top 15 now.
He does, and right behind him as well, we've got Fahim Antonidis, who has made it up to 19th, and he's actually taken P18 here as well now. So despite that little incident and the damage he has, he's made it more than halfway through the field by the halfway point of this race.
Oh no, he hasn't!
He just got turned around again. Oh my word. He's flipped it.
Yeah, he's upside down and over there for Fahim Antonidis. We knew he was going to be aggressive in this race. You can see there's some engine damage from that one. He's had to put it off. He's been hit again. You're right there.
Wow.
Oh, Antonidis out of this event.
That is such a shame. He had such a good run, and despite an incident, still made it up to the top 20, and then that just happened.
Yeah, here's a replay going 3 wide in towards the Tamburello chicane as we have a look from up above. And Antonidis has a racing line, number 39 machine. The two just close the door. There's a lap car on the outside line. Antonidis has been pushed onto the gravel trap at Tamburello corner, then tries to bring that car back out onto track. Hasn't got any steering at all. You'll see that he's about to try and pull the car offline, but then the number 42 machine just had nowhere to go. That wasn't number 42, so I take that one back. As Claire Hughes is still happily running on track, but that was a difficult moment there, and Antonidis is going to be ruining those 60 seconds.
Hey, yeah, that was very unfortunate for him. Very unfortunate day overall as well, missing qualifying, and despite that good run, now it's over as we see a battle for second place here with Anthony Catt making a move on the AUs for second place.
Yeah, so, Claire Hughes, it's a really close battle going on. Third and fourth place, they head themselves now down into that Tamburello corner. Outside line is Claire Hughes. He's able to keep the outside line, but look at that, they're going to go 3 wide on the exit of Tamburello corner. Hughes now still in the middle as they go back single file in towards a Villeneuve chicane. Patterson behind, Ben Daniels in front, Whilst all that's just happened, by the way, they're now 4 seconds, actually 3.5 seconds back from Tom Ward.
They are. All this battling has really slowed them all down, and well, it's not doing them any favors, but they were never going to catch him anyway. What's happening now, though, is that Simon Edwards is closing in from behind, so he might still have a chance to get back in the top 5 if things keeps going like they are.
Yep, so this is the run as they head themselves up the hill again. And by the way, we've got a couple of people here. Daniel Cook's having a fantastic run. He's in P number 7 in the 255 machine right now. Kane Halliburton, after that incident, running in 8th place. Tom Barry in 9th. Ashley Dunning rounding out your top 10. Peter Cohen and Dave Martin still battling out. This is for P13. P14 on track. We go on board Peter Cohen actually right now into Aqua Minerale down the inside. Bold move there. Peter Cohen forces his way through, and they're going to go potentially double file as they head themselves up the hill. 3 wide, and Cohen wisely backs out of that one.
Wow, that was a bold move, and it almost paid off. He just went a little bit too wide and had to back out, but he's going to get the run out of the chicane here now. He might be able to get both of these positions right back as he moves it over to the left side. Try and get back into 14th at least. Here he comes, puts 1 wheel in the grass, or 2 wheel even. Now he's just boxed in, so now he can't really do anything. He's going to put the bumper to him though, with the front wing to his gearbox.
Yeah, that's Dave Kirk.
But he's not going to get anywhere.
Dave Kirkman ahead, number 27 machine. That's to drive the box Peter Cohen in, but Cohen now gets a good run out of that to number 2. Will he have the run to go down the inside? In fact, no, he's got a bump draft. Dave Kirkman down a little bit. It's not Daytona yet, boys. He's still got a couple more weeks to go before we head ourselves to the Daytona 500. Peter Cohen's looking to the left, Peter Cohen's looking to the right, and there's absolutely nothing he can do right now. Back to Ben Daniels though. Daniels versus Anthony Catt, and well, these guys, 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th, are still battling it out right now. Anthony Catt in 2nd place, Ben Daniels in 3rd, Claire Hughes in 4th, Ian Patterson runs out your top 5. We're at that point now, they've got about 3.5 laps to go in this motor race, Linus, and it's just a case now of being patient for about a lap and a half or so.
It is. This is definitely not the point you want to make a mistake, because there's no time to get it back whatsoever. So these guys still want to be at the front of the pack. Don't make too much of a risky move and end up losing out. Edwards is still closing in slightly, so he's just hoping for these guys to make a mistake. Looking back at the battle we were looking at earlier with Peter Cowan and those guys, Seymour Harding has just joined in on that from 16th place, and he started in 46th, which is dead last. So he's gained 30 positions in this race, and he's actually gaining some more right here.
That is absolutely incredible. There's a look at your movers and shakers inside your top 15.
Oh,
Dave Martin's off, and yeah, Kirsten, who are you? Are you Jim Nance?
I don't know.
Well, there's Seymour Harding as we're having a look on board of him right now, running in the 18th position, but let's cycle that one through. You can see that Harding was up 30 positions at the point that we started talking about him. He's lost 2, so he's only up 28 places in this event today, but he is still your biggest mover in your field as Ethan Bass is on pit road. Looks as though that's a terminal incident for him. Ben Daniels, Ben Daniels and Ewan Patterson, they're going to go side by side again. So they work themselves, what's this, on the run through Aqua Minerale, up through the hill. No, actually, that's it, that back. That was all the way at the start of the lap down at the first chicane as they're coming towards Villeneuve again. This is starting to heat up now with 2 and a bit laps to go.
It is, and they're moving back and forth all the way down the straights to try and find the gap to go, and now they're 4.5 seconds behind Tom Ward, who's just driving away with this. It's Leo Hughes in 3rd, trying to chase down Ian Patterson, who is now in 2nd place. Ben Edwards sitting in 4th, trying to make something happen, and Cat just sitting patiently back in P number 5, trying to find a way through as well, but that doesn't look very likely at the moment, as these guys are going to stay single file.
Yep, looking a little bit further back, Dean Martin, P number 14, and he's trying to put the pressure on Dave Kirkman, cannot do so on the run up through Tosa, but gets a good run on the exit of Tosa. He'll look himself down the inside into Piatella right now as he's going to try and make that move, and no, not going to be able to do so just yet, but he gets a much better run off the corner actually. Will Dave Martin pushing wide, will go the driver of Simon Maltby. Dave Kirkman losing all the way down into the 16th place now, so there's still battles going on outside of your top 10. Worth noting, gap between P number 1, P number 2 now up to 5 seconds on track. It's Patterson, Hughes, Cat and Daniels all scrapping out for a silver medal position, a bit like what we had on Sunday Night Skippies yesterday, but they're going to have 2 more laps to go in this motor race. It's going to be Patterson versus Claire Hughes. They head down into 1.
It is, and this is really heating up now. It's anyone's race at the moment. One mistake though could be really costly, so you're going to just have to stay off each other really. And look at this, Simon Edwards now right on the rear bumper as well of these guys, so it's 6-car battle all of a sudden for second place.
Yep, as Edwards has caught up, Daniel Cook has caught up as well. I don't expect to see Kane Halliburton get back up into this one. He's a little bit too far back, but let's go on board then for a few corners with the driver of Anthony Catt as they head themselves into Tosa once again. And this is where it's all about getting yourself ready for the final lap of this motor race. You realistically want to be the second car in line as you exit Tamburello on the white flag lap. That's what we saw yesterday. That's what we see so often in these types of draft races, because the track gets narrower, it gets faster, of course, with a Villeneuve chicane, and it becomes harder to overtake until realistically you get in towards the Ravazza curve. But Anthony Catt, P number 5 right now, you can see everyone's just holding back for this lap, waiting until the final one.
They are, and I think, well, actually, here he comes up the inside, Ben Daniels of Leah Hughes. No, sorry, of Ian Pattinson, but he's going to back out going into the chicane, so that's going to let Pattinson get a good run. Leah Hughes is going to get the better run, though. He's going to drive away, and did he get a slowdown there, Daniels? No, he didn't. He just got a bad run off the corner. And here comes Simon Edwards at the back of this pack. He's going to try and get into 5th place before this lap is over.
Yeah, Claire Hughes then back up into the 2nd place on track. Patterson 3rd, Daniels 4th, Catt in 5th, and Edwards rounds out your top 6. There is Simon Edwards, so we will go on board of him as we come down to the white flag lap. There is going to be one more lap of this motor race to go. Your top 3, you'll see them on the left-hand side of your screen. It is Tom Ward who leads away by 5.1 seconds over Claire Hughes, and it's Ian Patterson in 3rd place. 4th place is Ben Daniels, then Anthony Catt, then Simon Edwards, Daniel Cook, Halliburton, Donny and Barry. They round out your top 10 as they come through Tamburello corner for the first time. Ian Patterson losing out. He's now down into the 4th position. In fact, he's going to fall all the way back into 6th place. A bad run through Tamburello corner for him puts him all the way down. Claire Hughes has 4 tenths per second now over Ben Daniels as they head themselves up through Villeneuve. It's going to be Hughes versus Daniels versus Catt realistically as they work up to Tosa.
That was a terrible move from Ian Pattinson, who is now dropped out of this. So Ben Daniels going to try and get a run here. He can't really get it though. Catt might be able to get a run, but it's not going to happen coming up this hill. Whoever gets the best run through these next couple of corners though is in the best position to get the 2nd place here, I believe. Leah Hughes, he pretty much nails that corner, so still anyone's race.
Into Outcome Minerali, they'll come then for the final time, and Claire Hughes still has the advantage over Ben Daniels as they now work up the hill. Just 3 more braking zones to go, and now you can start to see desperation kick in for the driver of Simon Edwards. He moves himself to the right hand side of the racetrack as they come down into that 3rd to last chicane. Cannot do anything, but he gets a mighty run, because Ben Daniels does make him an error there, and that allows Simon Edwards to get a little bit of a run as they come down in towards the Vatsa. It's going to be a case of who's going to be the last. The late breakers are ready. Daniels looks to the outside as they come down in towards Ravazza. That means that Ben Daniels can cover off a position, and there they come then. They're going to bat it out. They're going to be contact as they come down into Ravazza 2 for the final time. It's going to give the race win to Tom Ward. It's going to give 2nd place to Claire Hughes. It'll be 3rd place to Anthony Catt, 4th place for Ben Daniels, and 5th place for Ewan Patterson, as Simon Edwards is your big loser of that one, Linus.
He really was. There was just a concertina effect, nothing for him to do there, unfortunately, and Anthony Cat losing his rear wing as well, dropping that third position right on the line. So that was very, very dramatic, more dramatic than I expected, but well, Lee Hughes did what he had to do and stayed clear of everything, so he got a well-deserved second place. And Daniels, he just got a little bit too wide, got a wiggle on, made contact with Cat, and that just stopped everyone behind him, really.
Yep, let's have a look then at your final race results here from Monday Night Skippies. And it's Tom Ward on the 09 car who claims victory by 6.2 seconds over Claire Hughes, claiming victory here today in round number 8 of the championship. Ben Daniels, 3rd place. Anthony Cat in 4th. Ewan Patterson in 5th. Daniel Cook, Kane Halliburton, S.J. Dunning, Simon Edwards and Tom Barry round out your top 10. Rest of those results going to come up on your screen for you now. We're going to take a quick 90-second break, and after that we'll get yourself back for post-race interviews here on Monday Night Skippies, presented by the Campaign Against Living Miserably, the Calm Zone, a male mental health charity designed to prevent one of the largest killers of men under the age of 45.
Alfala is $10,500 richer. Two-time NASCAR. This is your 2013 NASCAR iRacing. It's going to be Humpy winning the race, and it's going to be Conti taking away his first NASCAR 2017 NASCAR Beginner Series Championship to Ryan Luza. Alfala is a 4-time champion of the NASCAR Beginner iRacing Series.
Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget, if you want more iRacing action, subscribe to the iRacing Esports Network now. Just visit youtube.com/iRacing Esports Network. We talk about a fantastic winter's worth of racing. We have got more racing to come your way on RaceSpotTV in just a couple of weeks' time. In fact, it's not even a couple of weeks' time now. It's just over 1 week. February the 12th, it is the first round of the 2019 eNASCAR Peak Antifreeze iRacing Series, live on RaceSpotTV and on the iRacing Esports Network, on Twitch, on YouTube, and on Facebook Live. We start off from the high banks of Daytona, all 31 degrees of banking, and it is going to be a fantastic edition, the opening round of the 10th season of the eNASCAR series. We have got a driver after all of that feeling, Linus, to talk to. We've got Baz West. Take it away.
Well, Barry, started 36th, finished 22nd, so gained 14 positions. Even though it's a midway finish for you, still a pretty decent result, I guess, considering where you started. Well done. How was it?
Yeah, I just so slow. I didn't have much practice here, and you need to know which curbs to take. And I had 4 slowdowns. I was should have been a bit higher if it wasn't for that. Should have been up in the teens somewhere. But yeah, it was an interesting race. I thought I could have held Clark off for the last few laps, but no, he did well. Just made a mistake. But yeah, it's so punishing, this track. It's quite technical in places.
Yeah, it certainly is, and fast with a lot of corners. Not easy with not a lot of practice, but a massive field today. And how did you make it through those little incidents that happened around your were they all cleared by the time you got there?
No, there was one car across the chicane, at the last chicane, and that gave me one slowdown, avoiding him. And that allowed Clark to catch up because he was about 3 or 4 seconds behind. And then what happened then? Yeah, I made a few places up at the start actually this time. I thought, seeing I'm so far back, I've got to be a little bit aggressive, and made a few places up first lap. And then it was just trying to keep on the track, but the slowdowns messed me up, and it was where I didn't expect them as well. Down at the what's the bottom of the hill, Aqua Mineral, yeah, down there. Yeah, it was, and they're so fine that they're a bit on the tight side. You can get like 2 wheels off the track, and then you just go that fraction over, and it gives you a slowdown, not just a a 1 times. It's a slowdown, so it's really annoying.
Yeah, I bet. Well, anyways, congratulations on being one of the 66% that managed to finish the race, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, cheers, then, bye.
And that's all we've got time for, ladies and gentlemen, on Monday Night Skippies as ever. Shout out to Ismail Ballard, TrackCams22.com. Andres Warner and One Design for overlay design. Simon Grossman, Optioneering.com for overlay development. And RaceSpotTV live timing and scoring by Nick Thisson. That guy has been Linus Brostrom. I am Will Vincent. Good night from Imola.